स्वामिन् नमस्ते नतलोकबन्धो कारुण्यसिन्धो पतितं भवाब्धौ मामुद्धरात्मीयकटाक्षदृष्ट्या ऋज्व्यातिकारुण्य सुधाभिवृष्ट्या स्वामिन्नमस्ते 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 स्वामिन्नमस्ते। यत्कीर्तनं यत्स्मरणं यदीक्षणं यद्वन्दनं यत्श्रवणं यदर्हणं लोकस्य सद्यो विधुनोति कल्मषं तस्मै सुभद्रश्रवसे नमो नमः। विचक्षणाय चरणोपसादनात् संगं व्युदस्योभयतो अन्तरात्मनः विन्दन्ति हि ब्रह्मगतिं गतक्लमाः तस्मै सुभद्रश्रवसे नमो नमः। तस्मै सुभद्रश्रवसे नमो नमः। तस्मै सुभद्रश्रवसे नमो नमः। जय गुरु, जय गुरु, जय गुरु। I offer my pranams to my Gurudev, Pujya Swami Bhumananda Tirtha Ji Maharaj. I offer pranams to Shri Krishna, who has manifested as my Guru. And I offer pranams to all the devotees who are assembled here, and also my love and fondness for every one of you. You know, when this Satram preparations start, we are constantly asked by the organizers on what subject we will speak. So I was also being asked constantly, and I'm very bad at giving any topic, and I'm not able to talk very freely when a topic is given. But since the time for the matter to go to the press was there, so I thought I'll talk on true devotion for householders to follow. Why I took that topic, I thought myself many times later, and I feel that we are giving talks, going to many places, not only in this Satram, in India as well as abroad. And apart from the talks, the devotees who come to us and meet us, ask their questions, mostly are from householders. Household. So, I find that, as is very common, even though we grow up worshipping God, we grow up having faith in God, and we go to temples, we have devotional routines, what happens is that we are still gripped with fear, anxiety, stress, and strain. So, even though one is a devotee, one is not able to get rid of fear, anxiety, affectation, affliction, sorrow and happiness, all these things. So, what should be the growth of devotion in a devotee so that a devotee leads a life of freedom, freedom from all the shackles of the mind and intelligence. The tendencies that we have, which are the place of the gunas, three gunas, the tendencies, they make us suffer, make us sad, make us angry at times, make us feel very depressed. So, we must know what the Shastras are telling us, the devotees. We all consider ourselves as devotees. We have all gathered here in the name of devotion. But how much we are taking from the Shastras? The Shastras, the sacred texts, are telling us how to live this life beautifully with freedom and expansion of the mind and not in a constricted manner. So, I was thinking that I too was in a household, and from my very childhood, I think I have always felt that why is it that we get connected to God only during our worship and puja, during our prayers, and we completely forget God in other times. As a child, my mother had given a very beautiful habit or a very beautiful, she told us that pray to God. God is inside you. And she told that pray to God to make you a good girl. I was very young. And to all the siblings, my mother said this. She said, God is within you, and pray to God to make you a good girl. As a small child, I did not understand what is good. I used to think that I must obey my parents, I should study well, I should not quarrel with anybody, and all other things. As I grew up, I understood that to pray to become good. Good means the good qualities, human good qualities. And as I entered the spiritual path and the devotional path, I understood that these qualities are the qualities of Atma that we have to imbibe, cultivate. So, as a child also, when I used to go to temples, I would look at other devotees, praying, then closing their eyes, chanting something, their lips will be quivering and saying some prayers. I used to feel that, I don't have so much of bhakti. Looking at others, I would feel others have a lot of bhakti and I do not have bhakti. So this question came to my mind. What is bhakti? What is devotion? And what is true devotion? Is devotion only this, that we go and pray in the temples or near our puja shrine? Is devotion only this, that we get up in the morning, take bath, light a lamp, chant some prayers, or do meditation, or read, as many read the Bhagavata, many read Bhagavad Gita, many read other texts? Is devotion only that? Or there is much more to it? If devotion is only chanting some prayers and doing some puja, offering few fruits and flowers to God, the images of God, on very particular days we go to the temple and we give puja. And we ask from God, please make my family all right, let everybody in the family be well, healthy. Is that devotion? Or devotion is much more than that? This was my question. And in that question, I always felt that during such worship, always there is a feeling of divinity, of purity, a feeling of sublimity. You know, a connection, all of you must be feeling it. When we pray, we sit near the temple or near an idol and we pray. We have a feeling of melting in the heart. We feel so much of love and what we call devotion. But when we get up and we start our everyday work, then all those feelings melt away, dissolve. So my question was, what is this true devotion which will make me feel God always, all the time, everywhere? In all situations, I will never forget God. I used to read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna Dev. There, he has stressed many times that keep your mind on God and do your duties. All the responsibilities we must take up, do our duties, but keep the mind in God. How to do that was a question. Even though this touched me, this phrase, this instruction from this great saint touched me, and I thought that I would like to do that, but I was not able to. And then, meanwhile, I came in touch with Baba, Gangadhar Paramahamsadev, Swamiji's Gurudev. I first came in touch with Baba. Baba also told me, there is no fear. Lord resides within you, which my mother had said. And Baba also said, Ram se lagi raho bhai, teri banat banat ban jaye. I was very young then, maybe about 23, 24 years old. I only understood that we have to be connected to God always. If we go inside, we must be able to have the touch of our own indweller whenever we want. And that is God. Since my mother gave me that habit of praying to God, always, every day, from very young age, I would pray as a small child, at least once, even if it was before bedtime, I will pray, please make me a good girl. And like that, he became a very, very close associate of mine, a companion, because I started talking to God. My mother had said, he's within you, and you can tell him to make you a good girl. So whenever I would feel that I was not good, what I should have done, I was not doing, I will be talking to that God inside me. So he became my closest companion, and I would talk to him, quarrel with him. If I was fearful, I would say, please be with me, I'm feeling fearful. Or sometimes I will feel that, oh, why did you make me so angry today? I did not want to become angry. Like this, I started feeling God very near and close to me. But still, whenever I went to the temples and found other devotees doing prayers like this, I would feel, I don't have that kind of a feeling. I used to feel him inside. Later, I understood that it is not only for me, it is for everybody. That Sri Hari is the dear one, the soul, the master, and the friend of all beings. As Prahlada said, Yadesha Sarva Bhutanam Priya Atmeshwara Surit. When I started reading Bhagavatam, I came through these shlokas and understood that that is why when somebody starts finding God not outside in the images alone, but inside oneself, then he is the Sarvabhutanam Priyaha, Atmeshwaraha, Atma and Ishvara, and he is the Surit. Sarvabhutanam means for everybody, he is the Priya, dear. He is the Atma, he is the Ishwar, and he is the Suhrit. Who is the Suhrit? The closest companion, well-wisher. So meanwhile, I was at the feet of Pujya Swamiji when Baba was in his last days. He gave my spiritual welfare in the hands of Pujya Swamiji, and I was in Kolkata at that time, and Swamiji was in Kerala, and we had both gone to meet Baba. We met there at Baba's Purnashram, where Baba told Swamiji to look after the spiritual welfare. So from that time onwards, Swamiji told me to read Bhagavatam. And he also told me to write to him letters every 15 days. So every 15 days I used to write whatever would come to me, whatever my mind was thinking. And Swamiji was very, very prompt in replying. He will reply to all my queries and expose me to all this. What is Nirdvandatva? What is Atma? What is Jnana? And all that. He would write shlokas and send to learn. He asked me to learn shlokas, teaching me few shlokas. That day, I think some of you must have seen that book being released, the book of shlokas. This love for shlokas, to learn them, it was bestowed on me by Swamiji. It was his blessings. And he told that learn shlokas, read Bhagavatam, not just reading. You know, many read as an austerity. Many people, they read Bhagavatam. It is very good as a discipline, austerity, every day at the same time. If you read a sacred text, whether it is a Bhagavad Gita, whether it is Bhagavatam, whether those are Upanishads or other things, if every day at the same time taking to some austerity and discipline you read, it has its great effect. But there is more to it. Swamiji explained to me that read the shlokas, learn the meanings of each word, and what the message is. Try to imbibe and assimilate the message and make it yours. And try to live what these shlokas are telling me. So that I had practiced. I became very fond of learning shlokas. I didn't know much of Sanskrit. Even now I do not know much of Sanskrit. But I can say that what I knew at that time, I'm better than that. So, while Swamiji slowly, after some time, came at Swamiji's feet to serve him, to serve the Guru. Because in the text, everywhere it is written that serve the Guru, serve the Guru. It's nearly 40 years that I'm at his feet, and I know Swamiji even before that. So what a blessing it is. Swamiji started flooding us with shlokas from Bhagavatam, from Bhagavad Gita, from Yoga Vasishta Ramayana, from the Shankaracharya's Kritis, the Upanishads, Subhashitams, and like Sri Krishna Karnamritam, So many. And it was Ashtavakra Samhita, Avadhuta Gita. So it was, as if getting drenched. And my feeling was that I should be learning all these things. And not just learning, introspecting. So I come back to Bhagavata now. The few shlokas of Bhagavata which I learned or heard in the beginning, one was, Naham tavangri kamalam shanardhamapi keshava tektum samutsahe natha swadhama nayamamapi. I think many of you know this. That Uddhava, when he came to know that Krishna is going to leave and go back to heaven, to the Devatas, he told that, "Oh Lord, I have been with you for such a long time, I cannot remain even for half a moment without you. So wherever you are going, please take me." So I felt, my dear children, when we read shlokas, we must read like this. I become identified with the person who is telling the sloka. This is Uddhava speaking. What is Uddhava speaking? Uddhava is speaking, saying that Naham tavangri kamalam shanardhamapi keshava na aham. I cannot remain without you, O dear Krishna, even for half a second. So how much was his love? So I felt, I always used to think, what is true devotion? That day, you know what was the scene? I was still in the household. We were in Kharagpur IIT. Swamiji used to come to Jamshedpur every year. Even now he goes to Jamshedpur every year. There used to be a morning satsang at 5:45, because it's a steel factory. The factory starts very early. So many people, those who would go to the factory, which will start at 6:30 or maybe 6:45, so they used to come for this morning talk. So it was 5:45 in the month of February. It will be dark. The sun is just about to rise. Absolute silence everywhere because people have not yet got up. Only the devotees who would like to hear a Swami who is talking about devotion, who is talking about jnana, they only used to come and gather. And Swamiji was talking on Uddhava Gita. He would start the talks with this shloka. Naham tavangri kamalam shanardhamapi keshava tektum samutsahe natha swadhamanayamamapi. So, this is the shloka. So that day, in that ambience, when I first heard it, I felt, oh, a true devotee should feel like this. That is, I cannot remain without you even for half a second. What will the householders do? They cannot go away. Because Uddhava is saying, please take me with you wherever you are going. So a householder, when he or she hears or reads this shloka, what should be the feeling in the mind? My mind felt, Uddhava is saying like this. If I am a true devotee, I should also feel, how is it that in the whole day, most of the time I am not thinking about God. Most of the time I am thinking about other things. The family, my job, by other things, my relatives. So, am I a true devotee? What is true devotion then? If I call myself a true devotee, what are the qualities that I should have? Should I not have those qualities? And in time, as I said, I came at the feet of Swamiji and Swamiji started teaching many slokas, as I was saying. So he took some slokas from the 11th skandha, 14th chapter, which is on bhakti. One of the slokas is Akinchanasya dantasya shantasya samachetasaha maya santushta manasaha sarvaha sukhamaya dishaha. My dear children, if you come across this shloka, or maybe you know this shloka, just focus on each word. A devotee is saying, Krishna is telling Uddhava about the devotee, saying that when a devotee has these qualities, what are the qualities? Akinchanasya, akinchana. What is akinchana? I have nothing. That is, he doesn't possess anything. Neither he possesses any material things, nor he has any possessiveness for anything. He feels nothing belongs to him. Dantasya, when one has restrained his senses. Shantasya, when one has restrained the mind. Samachetasaha, what is samachetana? That is having an equal feeling for all. When will that happen? That will happen when a devotee understands that the Atma which is inside me, I am that Atma or the God. Same Atma is everywhere, in everybody, it is not different. The self is all pervading. God is all pervading. Whether you call it God, whether you call it Atma or Paramatma or Brahman, it is the same. It is everywhere, every time, in every place. It is the same and same everywhere. In the beginning of Bhagavatam, it is said, it has been explained, Vadanti tat tattva vidaha tattvam yad jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyate. Vadanti tat tattva vidaha, it's in plural. Those who have known the tattva. What is the tattva? Atma tattva. Or the tattva of Bhagavan, Ishwar. This tattva vidaha, they say, vadanti tat tattva vidaha tattvam yad jnanam advayam. This tattva, which they have realized and experienced, it is advaya jnana, one without a second. There is the same consciousness or the same presence, the same supreme, everywhere, all pervading, and everything that we see in this plural world, we are saying same, but we are actually seeing everything plural. All of you are different. There is a chair, there is a camera, there is a mic here, there is a flask here, these fans are here, everything is plural. Trees are there, buildings are there. So this Advaya Jnana, the Brahman or Paramatma or Bhagavan, whatever you say, all that is the extension or expression of that one without a second, which is actually one, but it has expressed in different ways. So, this is told. So, akinchanasya dantasya shantasya samachetasa. The devotee should have that samacheta. That is, the mind should be equal to everybody. She should find the same self in everybody. Maya santushta manasaha. And who is santushtaha? Santushtaha means one who is satisfied or contented only with me. Sarvaha Sukhamaya Dishaha. So what are the qualities? Akinchanatva, then Shantata, Dantata, Maya Santushta Manasaha, Samachetasaha. All these qualities a true devotee must have. Then alone, what will happen? Sarvaha Sukhamaya Dishaha. Everywhere around, that devotee will find happiness and happiness, delight and delight. He will never be affected by anything. He will never be afflicted by anything. He will be only resting in God consciousness, in the Supreme. Like this, some shlokas Swamiji taught us. And what is the one main thing in this shloka? Maya santushta manasaha. Are we having satisfaction? We are always not contented alone. We always, whatever we have, we want to have more and more and more. So, Maya santushta manasaha is saying that the devotee must be contented with me alone. That is, my thought should give him pleasure. All other worldly thoughts, those he will not like anymore. So, like this, he started teaching many shlokas, and one more shloka, which is from that Bhakti part, 14th chapter of 11th Skandha, is where he says, Nishkinchana mai anurakta chetasaha, Shanta mahanto akhila jiva vatsalaha, Kamai ranalabdha jiho jushantiyat, Tan nairapeksham sukham navid, Sukham navidum, Sukham, anyway, I am forgetting it. So, Nishkinchana mai anurakta chesa, it is also same thing. It is Nishkinchana, no, having nothing as one's belonging. And anurakta chetasa, you become very, very fond of God. Shanta mahanto, you are very quiet and tranquil. You are mahan, great. Also, akhila jiva vatsalaha, you are having lot of feelings, sensitivity towards every creature in this world. And you are not smitten by any kind of personal desire, selfish desire, self-centered desire. All that you want to do is for others, to make God happy. And then what do you get? Nairapeksham sukham. That is the sukha which does not depend on anything in this world. Now, look into yourself. All our sukhas are depending on what? Something or other. Either we want some object, or we want to go somewhere, or we want to eat something, or we want to buy a dress. Some want name and fame, more and more property and money. Only when they get these, then they become sukhi. Whatever we want, if we get this, we become sukhi. This is telling about the devotees who must have some qualities which will give them a sukha, which is not depending on anything, but which is coming from within. The fountain of delight which is ours, our real identity, our Atma. We are not the body. Actually, all our afflictions, all our misery, all our suffering is because we get identified with this body which is perishable, which is mortal, which will die, which will not remain. All our sukha is because the sukhas that we look for are dependent on perishable objects which will not remain always. That is why our sukhas are also short-lived and not long-lasting. So, like this, when Swamiji, I started learning many shlokas and reading myself also. Then came to this where Prahlada is saying that God is like the sky. It is pervading the hearts of all. He is the soul of one's soul, most genuine well-wisher and friend of all beings. God is like that. So, when we want to have devotion, we must find God to be like this. It is not only lighting a lamp, reading Bhagavata or reading Bhagavad Gita. Even this Nama Sankirtana that goes on every day, what do you think about it? We are looking forward to this Satram every year. We come here and listen and listen and listen. Every day we are waiting for the Nama Sankirtana to happen. So many people come, they dance, and they are ecstatic. Is that true devotion? What does God say about a true devotee? What does God say what is bhakti? We must know that. Now, God says that Prahlada is telling about God that there is no difficulty in finding God. He is always inside us and outside us. He is like the sky, and He is the most well-wisher of all of us. One day, Swamiji was talking of Prahlada in one lecture. I'll read these slokas. They are they touched me so much. You know what Prahlada says to his classmates? Who is Prahlada? He is a small boy, Asura boy, but he is a Vishnu Bhakta. His father tried in many ways to take away his devotion from him towards Vishnu, because his father Hiranyakashipu was an enemy of Lord Vishnu. Now Prahlada tells, and not only Prahlada, when we read the Bhagavatam, we see that everywhere it is written that have satsanga, listen about God, do seva to the sadhus, particularly go to a guru and serve him, listen to him, and through that satsanga, whatever you listen, do vichara on that. Jat shinvan vipathan vicharana paro bhaktya vimucche naraha. So it is not only shinvan vipathan, you have to do vicharana also. So vichara has to be done. So when we read these slokas, or when we hear these slokas, as common people, what should we do? We should do vichara on these. This is what Prahlada is saying. Nishamya karmani gunana tulyan Viryani nilatanubhikritani Yadati harshot pulakashrugadgadam Protkantha udgayati rauti nrityati Yada grahagrasta iva kvachit hasatyakrandate dhyayati bandate janam Muhushvasan bhakti hare jagatpate Narayane tyatmamatirgatatrapaha Tadapuman mukta samasta bandhanaha Tadbhava bhavanukrita kritihi Nirdagdha bijanushayo mahiyasa Bhakti prayogena Sametya dhokshajam. What is it? Nishamya karmani gunana tulyan. So, it says that go to the holy people, What is my topic? What I am trying to tell all of you? I am trying to tell all of you, my dear children, you know what I say? I can say only that which I have experienced, which I have practiced, and which I know that if you practice, you will be able to reach that state. So I am telling you, as a mother, that practice this. What our Bhagavatam is saying, go to the Mahatmas, the holy people. What are they? The holy people will help you to constantly listen to God. Who is God? Where is He? He is inside you. He is outside you. He is everywhere. And how you should practice to remember it, that is what the holy people will be constantly saying. He will be telling about the excellences of God, the sports of God, what God did in this earth, how glorious He is, how magnificent He is. And He will be telling us, pointing us to us, how our mind is remaining worldly and not turning towards God at all, even though we do our devotional discipline every day. He will be telling us and giving us advice, suggestions. So it says that go to the Mahatmas, have their Sangha. It is not only that you listen like this and hear and go away. Come near them, ask questions. Just like in Bhagavad Gita it says, Tadviddhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. You must go to him, do pranam to him and ask question. What should be the question? My question was, and I think it is everybody's question. My question was, when I was in the household, question was that, is this devotion? Just to light a lamp, to chant some slokas, to pray, to do puja, to offer flowers and fruits? Is this only devotion? Or in Nama Sankirtana you become dancing and dancing? Is this devotion? Or devotion is that which will make my mind constantly connected to God wherever I am. As when I am here, I remember who I am. I know my name. I know where I stay. I know my past history. I know who are associated with me. For all of you, like from here you will go back to your houses. Every day you are going back. Here you are, as long as you're there, do you ever forget where is your house? Do you ever forget how many children you have? Do you ever forget which bank accounts you have? Do you ever forget the number of your car? You are here. How is it that we are forgetting God? Always? That was my question. That was my question. What is this true devotion which will make me feel God anywhere, always? He will be always with me. Nitya yuktata. Tadviddhi pranipa. Tadviddhi means know that. This is from Bhagavad Gita. Pranipatena. Go and do namaskar. Pariprashnena. Ask a question. Please tell me how I will always remember God or feel that everywhere is God. If in the Shastras it is said that everywhere is God, why is it that I am not feeling it? What should I do to feel it? That question should be there. Otherwise, are you bhaktas? I don't think that unless this question comes, you are a bhakta. Why is it that I am not feeling that everywhere God is there? Then why the Shastras is writing it? So, pariprashnena sevaya. What is sevaya? Do some seva for him. So what is the seva we can do to the Mahatmas? First seva is that to receive what he has said. He is talking only from the Shastras. Receive it. Then retain it. Reflect on it. Assimilate it. And then live that knowledge. This is the first seva. The greatest seva. Have you understood? Have you understood? The best seva, the best offering that we can give to a Mahatma or Guru or a sadhu is to receive his words, then reflect upon it properly, assimilate it, and live it in life. So, when we do that, what happens? The mind starts constantly hearing Shraddha Ratir Bhaktir Anukramishyati. Kapila Deva tells his mother, when mother said, my son, I have lived so many years in my life, I was only attracted to worldly things, allured by this, allured by that, attracted by this, that. I never made use of my time. Now, at this age, I know that you can give me knowledge. Please tell me what is devotion. Please tell me. You are my son, but I am like a shishya, I am asking you. Please tell me what is devotion. Please tell me how I can become liberated from the shackles of the life, mind and intelligence. So, he says that Shraddha, you listen, you go to the Mahatmas, listen to them and receive everything, assimilate it. And as you do it, what will happen? Shraddha, first you will gain Shraddha. One day you hear, you like it. Next day you again come to hear. Third day again you come to hear. Like that, you start reading also other texts. And what happens? Ratihi, after Shraddha, Rati comes. That is, you start having a fondness and love for the knowledge. And Shraddha, Ratihi, Bhaktihi. And ultimately it turns into Bhakti. That is, what is this Bhakti? I'll tell what she says. And when Bhakti grows, what happens is that Virakti comes. And when Bhakti and Virakti grow, then what happens? Bhagavat Prabodha takes place. What is Virakti? When Bhakti for God, see, we are all saying God, 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 God. Have we seen God? Do we know where He is? Do we know how He looks? We have given a form. We give many forms. We give Krishna, Shiva, then Murugan, and so many, Lakshmi, Saraswati, this, that. Whatever we like, we give a form. Just like, a mother, she dresses the child with many kinds of dresses. One day yellow, one day pink, one day red, one day green, gives many kinds of bracelets or malas or bangles. Child is the same. But mother wants to make the child look different on different days. That is why we bhaktas also, whoever likes whichever form, we like that. But God is the same. What? I think that I did not tell you fully that shloka. Vadanti tat tattva vidaha tattvam jad jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyate. That advaya jnana, God is only one. You can call Him Brahman, you can call it Paramatma, you can call Him Bhagavan. It is the same. He is all pervading. He is everywhere, into everything, at every time. He is inside us, outside us, by the side, up, down. He alone is. He alone is. He alone is. Can we not live thinking like this? You know, there is a shloka which says, which calls God by various names. When love comes, when devotion comes, then we call God by many names. That is how Vishnu Sahasranama has come. Krishna Ashtottara has come. How? Who has written them? God has not written. Devotees have written. Devotees with their love for God, they have written. Just like when we have a child in the house, you will find the child is called by various names. Father will call by one name, mother will call by one name, grandfather by another name, grandmother by another name. The uncles, cousins, all will give different names. Once I asked one new mother, she had brought the child, the whole family came to take blessings, bringing the child, brought it to Swamiji and gave the child to Swamiji's lap. And all the family members were looking into this divine scene. Swamiji was taking the child in the lap. So I just asked the mother, very proud mother, first child, so very proud. So I said, what is the name of the child? She said in Hindi, she said, we call by different names. Whoever has प्यार से जो भी मन में आता है बुलाते हैं. That is, with love, whatever we feel like we call. So what is the thing? The love. It is the love for God that makes us give him various names. That is how the Vishnu Sahasranama has come. So in this sloka, the devotee is calling God by various names. He Lokesha, He Chaitanyamaya, He Adideva, He Shrikanta Vishnu. Like this, that is, He Lokesha, you the God, or you the controller of the whole world. And Chaitanyamaya, you are the pure consciousness. Adideva, you are the primordial God, person, being. And you are the consort of Lord Vishnu. Next comes the word. Bhavadajnayaiva pratas samuthaya. The devotee is saying, O Lord, calling him by various names, he says, by your propulsion, your propelling, or your order, or your wish, I get up in the morning. Have you understood the sloka? What is he saying? By your wish or your doing, I get up in the morning. Is it not true? When we go to sleep at night, we lie on the bed. Our head will fall on the pillow. Can we say when our eyes close, is it dependent on us? No. We cannot determine this. We cannot control that. When our eyes will get closed. So many people, they are trying to sleep but not able to sleep because they cannot control the sleep. Who is controlling sleep in us? That Supreme Presence. Similarly, he says, this devotee is saying, Bhavad ajnayaiva pratas samuthaya. By your wish alone, I have got up in the morning. Similarly, morning at what time our eyes will open? Whether it will open at 4, 4:30, 5, 5:30, 8, we don't know. Not dependent on us. We cannot control it. So, this devotee is saying, by this one fact, that you are actually controlling my life. When I get up in the morning, one day you have given to me for my life. Knowing that you are the controller, O my Lord, this morning and the whole day I have got so many things to do. I have planned many things. Some will be fruitful, some will be successful, some will not be successful. Some work I like, some work I do not like. But I have understood that you have given me this life. So, whatever comes my way, it is given by you alone. And I will do every work only for your pleasure, he says. So, when we read these things, we should be feeling it. Every morning, can we not get up in the morning and think? How many of us are there who get up in the morning thinking that, oh, God has given me one day? When we sleep also, do we think? We think so many other things. Every day the sun rises and the sun sets. We say one day has passed. Do we ever think that one day from our life has gone? We don't think of God. We think on a particular day we will give puja. On a particular special day we will give puja in the name of my son. So that my son gets a good wife. Or my son goes to America and gets a job there. These are our prayers to God. We don't pray to God saying that, God, give me that devotion which you like in us. So, here, Prahlada is saying, Nishamya karmani gunan atulyan. We have to go to the Mahatmas and listen to them. And when we hear about God anywhere, either we read or we go to a saint, a Mahatma, a Guru, and what do we hear? We hear about the Lord's exploits, what he has done, what are his excellences, unparalleled excellences, gunan atulyan, unparalleled excellences. And while we hear, we get excessive joy. Here also, throughout the day, so many people are talking. And the Nama Sankirtana I see, I like to watch the Nama Sankirtana from the stage because I can see everybody's face. Very bright, very delightful, as if ecstatic. So many people dancing. It is very nice to see. But, my dear children, all that gets over. All that is short-lived. It will be over. And we will be looking forward to it. So, what should we do to have the alingana of the Lord throughout in our wakeful hours? When we go to deep sleep, actually we are embraced by God inside us. We don't understand that. That is why as soon as we get up, again we get into activities. Every night when we are in deep sleep, we are in the alingana or in the embrace of our own Atma, which is God. So Prahlada is saying, Yadati harshot pulakashru gadgadam, that ashru, there will be tears shed, voice will choke because of the bliss that comes out listening about him. And we also start talking, singing loudly. Rauti, Nrityati, sometimes we will be crying, sometimes we will be dancing, as it happens in the Nama Sankirtana. So many groups will be dancing here and there. Some people will be alone dancing. It's so nice to see. So nice to see these scenes and to experience also. But mind you, we should not forget these are Shanabhanguram. Shanabhanguram. They don't stay. So we must look for what will stay. Yada grahagrasta iva kvachid hasatyakrandate dhyayati bandate janam muho shvasan bhakti hare jagatpate narayane tyatma matir gatatrapaha. And sometimes one will feel like possessed, sometimes one will laugh, sometimes one will cry, sometimes one will keep quiet and in meditation, sometimes one will salute to everybody. There was one lady who used to, when the Nama Sankirtana will be there, she will be just standing here and salute everybody. salute everybody, salute everybody. Why? At that moment, she is finding God everywhere, the same self everywhere. That is how we feel. Prahlada says, in Prahlada, I'm reading Prahlada only. Prahlada says, Etavaneva lokesmin pumsaha swartha parasmritaha ekanta bhaktir govinde yat sarvatra tadikshanam. Says that what is the ultimate supreme achievement or attainment in one's life? It is to have ekanta bhakti, one-pointed bhakti towards Lord Hari, Govinda, and see Govinda in everybody. And seeing that is, see the same God in everybody. Ekanta bhaktir govinde yat sarvatra tad ikshanam. That Govinda is sarvatra. Sarvatra, in everything. In everything he is. Govinda is, Hari is, God is, Brahman is, Atma is. It is one and one and one. So, the lady that says that dhyayati bandate janam. There is janam actually. So many people are there, but when that feeling comes, that devotee sees Govinda everywhere. That is how the Gopikas also, they saw Krishna everywhere. Every Gopika felt that Krishna is dancing with her. How? They are seeing Krishna everywhere. Mohoshvasan, sometimes they will be, taking big breaths and shoutingly say, Hare Jagatpate Narayana, Hare Jagatpate Narayana, like this. Atma matirgatatrapaha. And they will not feel ashamed at all. People generally feel ashamed to say like this, no? When that devotion comes, it is like this. But still, my dear children, I want to tell you, these are all short-lived. Short-lived. So, what does he say? Tada puman mukta samasta bandhanaha tadbhava bhavanukrita kritihi nirdagdha bijanushayo mahiyasa bhakti prayogena sametya dhokshajam. When, along with all this, one has not forgotten to do vichara. Vichara of what? It is not only the dancing that we do. My dear children, today, if you are there for Nama Sankirtan, while we are dancing, let us remember that it is not the dancing and the delight that we get from dancing that we are interested in. We should see Govinda everywhere and dance like this. We should see that. Yesterday, I don't know whether many of you or any of you noted what Swamiji said after he finished the Nama Sankirtanam and came and stood here and ended. He said, very good, I'm very happy, but I would like all of you to have this devotion and the feeling and experience of God every moment. That is missed. So, when that kind of vichara is there, is it all? Or am I to do something more? What do the scriptures say? Let me see. What else I have to do? The scriptures have said what? Don't possess anything. Akinchanasya shantasya dantasya samachetasaha. I started with that. Maya santushta manasaha sarvaha sukhamaya dishaha. We have to restrain our senses. We have to restrain our mind. We have to read the scriptures. We have to have samachetasan, that equanimity, seeing everywhere We have to be very, very loving to everybody. We have to go to a satsanga. We have to go to a guru, say, do service to the guru. We should go beyond dvandva, pleasure and pain. Many things are there. There is no time to say all these things. But this is what is written for our guidance. So don't miss. Bhagavata is not just listening. Every day we are listening and listening and listening. Then you go to another saptaha. Then you go to another saptaha. It is not listening just. It is to do vichara and take it inside. By how? By reflecting on what we have listened to and practicing to get those qualities in you. It says, Tada puman mukta samasta bandhanaha tad bhava bhavanukrita kritihi nirdagdha bijanushayo mahiyasa bhakti prayogena samet yadhokshajam. Says that time when we are having this true devotion, puman mukta samasta bandhanaha. We are constricted, we are bound by our attachments to our body and whatever we consider to be ours. That is, I and mine. I and mine. Aham and mama. All the householders are bound by that. Men, not only householders, everybody is bound by this feeling that this is body is the I, and everything that belongs to me, I have belonging, these belongings. So there is a fear to lose them. And always a fear, because we are misidentifying with the Atma is the changeless, immortal, imperishable soul. God is so. But we feel that this body which is changeless, which will turn into ashes one day, we feel that I am that. My name is this, my height is this, my weight is this, my qualification is this, I stay this and stay where, there, I earn this much, my children and this, these. This is my identity. No. The real identity is that self within, God within, and that God is everywhere. So, when the true devotion comes, then all bandhana goes, you feel free, you move about freely. Remembering always that you are connected to God. Remembering always that you are His. I am God's and God is mine. We have been created by God. God is sustaining us. We are dissolving in God. So, my dear children, it is very easy for us to remember, I am God's and God is mine. I am God's and God is mine. Only not that. Also remember that this body which has been created by God, it is in this earth, universe which is created by God. Nothing is under my control. A woman who gets pregnant, a fetus is growing in the womb, the woman can take food, proper food. But whether the child will be healthy, whether the child will have proper buddhi, or the child will be weak or retarded, not having proper buddhi, is it under our control? No. The people whom we call ours, my wife, my husband, my children, my parents, have I created them? No. Who has created them? They are created by God also. My ability, my buddhi, my efficiency, my capability, who is giving me this? God is giving. So, to remember that I am nothing, nothing belongs to me, I have no ownership to live in this world with that kind of a feeling is actual devotion. That is actual devotion. To see God everywhere in every being and every being in God, not to be affected by pleasure and pain, to feel that Vasudevaika Nilayaha, that the whole dependence is on God and God alone. That should be any householder's simple mantra. What? I am God's and God is mine. And I depend only on God. Because if I use my mind and intelligence which God has given me, I understand that nothing I can control in this world. So many things we plan. We cannot be successful in all our plans. Nothing we can control. Nothing belongs to me. Everything is by His wish. I am the instrument, just like an officer works in an organization. Similarly, whatever work he gives me, I will do it with absolute perfection, with full heart, with full enthusiasm. Excellently I will do, but I will not get attached or clinging. I will not have to anything. Not the work, not even the result. I will be only loving God. So, what? He says that adhokshajalambhamiha shubhatmanah sharirina samsriti chakrashatanam tad brahma nirvana sukham vidurbudhaha tato bhajadvam hridaye hridishwaram adhokshajalambhamiha shubhatmanah sharirina samsriti chakrashatanam tad brahma nirvana sukham vidurbudhaha tato bhajadvam hridaye hridishwaram. In the previous verse, it says that when the bandhana goes, then in body and mind and intelligence, one becomes one with God. Because Shraddha, Rati, Bhakti, it has grown. By listening, retaining, reflecting, we have grown in Shraddha, we have grown in fondness to listen. Then Bhakti has come, that Bhakti by which we start having love for God. And the worldliness, it fades away. Whatever duties we have to do, we do. But we understand that all those duties are also given by God. All the situations are given by God. All the viewpoints are given by God. There is nothing where God is not. This feeling. With this feeling, when we do our work, then what happens? Always, we never remain detached from God. If we stop, we feel, yes, God is mine, I am God's. I feel that my relatives, my family all belong to me. No, I have no control. When what God will please to do, He will do. So it says that to take away this I-ness and mine-ness from the minds of the householders, one must try to live. You know, in Bhagavatam, there are 2 chapters where how a householder should live so that you can develop pure devotion for God. One is in 7th skandha, another is in 11th skandha. Please read them. I thought I'll be taking this, but time is up. So, beautiful, beautiful. All our time, God is saying, Bhagavata is saying all the time, the householders, they love God, they do puja to God, they worship God, they know a lot of philosophy, but they only are thinking about the family and family matters, money and money matters, luxury and comfort. So in the day, only this much time one will think of God. So how will you change yourself? One thing is that nobody has told us from beginning, that right from beginning we should think like this. So it will take some time, but we have to try. So it says that this I-ness and mine-ness will go if you think that as in dream we sometimes have family, big family, so many things, buildings, car, this, that. When we get up from dream, we don't start crying, saying that, oh, where has my car gone? Where has my house gone? Where are my dresses gone? We don't cry. We know that those were dream things. Similarly, live in this world, in the family, knowing that nothing belongs to you. Nothing belongs to you. Everything belongs to God. So, my dear children, is it too difficult? Every day, whatever you do, let us get up from the morning, think of God. You have given me one more day. God, I am yours. You are mine. Make this love for you very, very strong. Then next, suppose we go to the bathroom and brush our teeth. We'll feel, oh, this brush, it has been made by some company, but it is ultimately the source is the Panchabhuta. So, by thinking that, we have thought about God. And where from the Panchabhuta has come? Kham vayumagnim salilam mahim cha jyotim satvani dishodrumadin sarit samudramscha hare shariram yatkincha bhutam pranamed ananyah. Kham, Akasha, Vayu is wind, Agni is fire, Salilam water, Mahim is earth, Panchabhuta. Jyotimshi, all the stars and the galaxies and everything in the celestial sphere. Satvani, all the beings of this universe. Dishaha, all the directions. Drumadin, all the plants and trees. Sarit, all the rivers. Samudra, all the oceans. So, we have covered everything outside us. Everything outside my body, our body, in this universe. And what is he saying? Hare Shariram. These are Hare Shariram. It is, all this is God's body. Because there is nothing but God. So though we are seeing them differently, there is only one God who is surrounding everything. And Hare Shariram Yat Kincha Bhutam Pranamed Ananyah. So, since everything that we see differently and plurally, the plurality that we saw, the diversity that we see, it is the same God. So, when we see, automatically the hands should fold and do like this. When do we do like this? When we go to the temple and see the Vigraha. But the Vigraha is everywhere. This whole world is an idol made by God. It is the idol who God has made. So, Yatkincha bhutam pranamed ananyah. And it says, if you can feel like this, that God has enveloped you in this earth, whatever I am seeing, God is there, so I am enveloped by God. Adhokshajalambham. Adhokshaja is God's name, Sri Hari's name. Alambham means embrace. Iha ashubhatmanaha sharirinaha samsriti chakrashatanam. So even if the mind has lot of tendencies like anger, impatience, annoyance, dislike, fault-finding, criticism, so many bad things are there in our inside, the impurities. But if like this, growing love for God, devotion for God, and virakti for the world, lot of virakti, I don't like any other thing. Many things which I used to like, we'll find that we don't have any more interest in that. Then Bhagavad Prabodhaha, and we feel God as our own inside us, we realize Him. Then this adhokshaja alambham, the embrace of God we will be able to feel. When true devotion is there, then we'll feel we are embraced by God. Tad Brahma Nirvana Sukham, that feeling of embrace by God is called Brahma Nirvana Sukham. It is Brahma Sparsham. That we will be feeling always. Vidur Buddhaha, the wise people, they say that listen, reflect, vicharana paraha become vicharavan, think, assimilate, take it, understand what is bhakti. Bhakti is not only just having devotional practices, it is much more than that. To have the qualities of a bhakta, where you completely depend on God, thinking that He is alone everywhere and you are His part, as is everything. So, tad Brahma Nirvana Sukham Vidur Buddhaha tato bhajadvam hridaye hridishwaram. So, this Hridishwaram, He is inside us. He is the God of our heart, our indweller, our antaryami. Tataha bhajadvam. Worship Him inside your heart. He is there. He is there. And that same God is everywhere. Kham vayumagnim sarilam mahimcha. He is inside you. He is outside you. He is everywhere. My dear children, my time is up, so I have to stop. I think now I am quite in a mood. If I were given time, I would say many other slokas, which are very, very good. Very, very good means what? You yourself can read it, and read it in this manner. I'm giving you, I try to inspire you. I'm inspiring you to read it and try to understand this. Each word, as in Bhagavatam it says, swadu swadu pade pade. So this swadu swadu pade pade, and it is as if you squeeze the words, nectar will drip. You have to drink it. You have to take it inside. You have to give time for it. Do you give? Look into yourself. When you go from here, what all you are talking? Every day you are listening to the lectures. Do you stand and think, at least discuss between yourselves what you have heard? Out of that, partly can you take? Think on that. And I give you a small thing, my small thing, which has given me so much of joy, so much of feeling God. Always given me the reply to my questions, to be thinking that I am God's, I depend on God, I rely on God, and God is mine. Nothing belongs to me. Nothing belongs to me. He is inside and He is everywhere. These are not shlokas. You need not chant this by heart this. This is just a bhava which you can do from morning till night. Any work that you are doing, all sorrow will go, all anxiety will go. Manye akutaschid bhayam achyutasya padambujo matra nityam udvigna buddhe rasa atma bhavat vishvatmana yatra nivartate bhihi. This, I am God's, God is mine, and I rely on Him completely. Vasudevaika nilayaha. Think like this.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Virachita bhayam वृष्णिधुर्यते चरणमेषां संसृतेर्भयात् करसरोरुहं कान्तकामदं शिरसि देहिनः श्रीकरग्रहं विरचिताभयं वृष्णिधुर्यते चरणमेषां संसृतेर्भयात् करसरोरुहं कान्तकामदं शिरसि देहिनः श्रीकरग्रहं तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ते भूरिदा जना तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ते भूरिदा जना भुवि गृह्णन्ति ते भूरिदा जना। जय गुरु।